Hello, and welcome to Sound Off with System One. I'm Rich Weed, your host today. I'm the Director of Marketing at System One, and we're here with Colleen Losowitz and Wendy Young to discuss pivoting to a new role after a layoff. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about System One. System One is a leading provider of specialized, highly technical outsourced services and workforce solutions to critical infrastructure, technology, life sciences, and government organizations. With more than 650 staff and 9,000 consultants on assignment every day, hard at work in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us today. Please send us a note in the comments section of LinkedIn and YouTube where you're joining us from and what industries you work in. Tracy is producing today's show and also monitoring comments. Feel free to connect with all of us on LinkedIn and also follow System One on LinkedIn. So let's get to our panel of experts. Colleen, please introduce yourself, tell us your favorite hobby, and give us your hot job for today.
Sure. Thanks, Rich. Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen Losowitz, Recruiting Manager of Joulé's National Accounts team. Our team focuses on contract staffing for positions within the life sciences field. My favorite hobby is baking and cooking. I love being in the kitchen and creating things for my family and friends. Do they enjoy them all the time? Not so sure, but I think it's, fun just to experiment and reinvent recipes. So that's my favorite hobby. And the job I'd like to highlight today is an exciting opportunity that we have with one of our leading global food manufacturing clients. This is a contract sample coordinator position located in the Minneapolis, Minnesota area. This role will act as a connector across several teams within our client's database, including customer service, sales, sample intake, and more. And we will have a direct communication with their customer base. This company is actually a household name and is working on many exciting projects at this moment. So they're looking for somebody who has a minimum of an associate's degree and at least 2 years of laboratory experience. They'd like this individual to demonstrate proficiency with sample prep, inventory control, customer service, and have some experience with computer systems like LIMS and Excel. So they're looking to hire someone immediately. So if this is something you're interested in, connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll put you in touch with a recruiting specialist to discuss that and more.
Awesome. Thank you, Colleen. What's your favorite food to cook?
I'm a big Italian food cooker, so I do like to make chicken parm from scratch. I've made pasta from scratch. So, and then during the holidays, I love to bake cookies. So that's probably my favorite.
Awesome. Very cool. And it's funny, you mentioned your favorite hobby is cooking, and then the job you're talking about is food sampler. So it's a Food Thursday, right? Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you. Again, if you're interested in Colleen's job, the QR code was up there above. You can connect with Colleen on LinkedIn. She'll help you out there. Or you can go to our career portal, jobs.systemoneservices.com, and you can search for that job and apply with just a few easy steps. So again, thank you, Colleen. Wendy, over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let us know what your favorite hobby is, and then go into your hot job, please.
Sure. So Wendy Young, I am a market manager for Mountain Limited, and Mountain Limited provides turnkey engineering solutions for local wireless telecom and all throughout the United States. So right now our featured job is outside plant engineer in the Chambersburg, Pennsylvania area. Ideally, we would like somebody with some outside plant experience in design, planning, and construction. And really somebody who's tech savvy, is able to maneuver through a lot of the Microsoft Office suite, any of those systems. And we are also willing to train the right person. So if you're interested in learning more about outside plant engineering and getting into that field, we'd love to hear from you. And hopefully we can get you connected with our recruiters and get you an interview.
Awesome. What about your hobby?
Oh, I almost forgot. So huge sports fan, and primarily hockey is definitely something of a favorite pastime for me. I have played hockey. I coached hockey in the past when my children were younger. And now I just like to experience it from my cozy couch, yelling for my team to score goals and arguing with the refs on calls.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, as we talked earlier today, I too am a hockey fan. I too am a hockey player. I still play a couple times a week. I know you said you're a fan of the Boston Bruins, who are having a phenomenal season. I live in Tampa, so of course I'm a big fan of the Tampa Bay Lightning and of course the Buccaneers and the Rays. But hockey's my go-to sport. So very cool. We got something alike there. I want to say one thing about Mountain Limited, which is Wendy's company. She talked about the fact that if you don't have the experience, they can train you. Mountain has put together a great training curriculum. And again, as she said, if you don't have the skills, they will train you and get you ready for the position. So for somebody who might be making a career move, touch base with Wendy, look up her job on our career portal. They do have a great training program and can speed you up right away. So, all right, with those introductions being done and talking about a couple hot jobs, let's just get right into our topic. And so again, as I mentioned before, our topic is pivoting to a new role after a layoff. So I think if you haven't been paying attention to the news, then you haven't seen it. But I think everybody who's been watching the news has seen layoffs are becoming a big deal. The current financial environment and other ongoings in the business world, we're seeing layoffs with a lot of tech companies related to some of our industries. We saw just yesterday, Indeed is laying off a bunch of people. And so it's a very unfortunate circumstance. If you're in that situation, we feel for you. I know it's tough. But what we want to do today with our panel of experts is we want to talk about that and what recommendations they have on how to move forward from a tough situation after a layoff. And so, Colleen, will you start off and just give us, some recommendations and insights on what you tell folks, when they're confronted with this situation?
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, we're seeing this way too often, over the last couple of months. I think it's important to first recognize that while layoffs are such a difficult thing to experience, they're usually a business decision and not a reflection of that individual's performance. So I know most layoffs happen within a large group, depending on the company size, and are usually, some sort of cost saving initiative or company restructuring. I think people's first natural reaction is to panic, which is completely understandable. But if you were laid off, try not to let it affect your confidence and remember that their decision is not a reflection of your ability or what you brought to the role. It's simply a reflection of the business environment and is in no way personal. So, if you need to take a day or two or a week, whatever it is to process, definitely do that because your mental health is extremely important, going forward. And you need to be in a good headspace to do that. Once the initial shock wears off, though, look at it as an opportunity to evaluate what you really want in the next steps of your career. This is your chance to reinvent your career and get a fresh start. So, get organized, update your CV and your resume, recalibrate your priorities. And I think overall, just be open-minded and positive in your approach because there is a lot of opportunities still out there. So if you're positive in your approach to this, it can only go up from there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Colleen. Go ahead, Wendy.
No, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, I totally agree with you, Colleen. I think this one really hit home for me just because I have experienced this and I know we talked about that before, but it's hard and you got to get in that good mental space. Otherwise, when you're doing interviewing and those things are going to come across. So I think it's very important to understand everybody's hiring and you should be excited about the endless opportunities that are before you. And tons of employers are training now. They're giving you that expert knowledge to be able to do that next job that you might have. So I think it's important to be excited about it. You can do anything you want now, what you might have been dreaming about or what you wanted to do when you were younger. So endless opportunities there. And I think it's important to just touch base with all of your network on, say, LinkedIn or those other social media platforms, and just really reach out to your network, because there are a lot of people that have experienced this. And so you have that support and you have also their contacts. So it's important to just keep in contact with them, and everybody's willing to help. So yeah, just be excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I too, Wendy, have experienced a layoff in my life a number of years ago, and from my experience, there are two things that I'd like to throw out there, and you guys can comment on it. But for the audience, is the first. I mean, I think everybody's heard of what we call an elevator pitch, right? An elevator pitch is where you talk about yourself. I think if you've experienced a layoff, you need to have a layoff pitch. And this isn't this isn't the baseball terminology, but a layoff pitch where you have a spiel or you tell a story about what happened. You talk about the situation. You talk about the number of people impacted. You let people know, as you all have said, that this wasn't about my performance. This was about a situation with the organization, and they had to do things for a reason. And I think with that pitch, you're going to give it multiple times. Every time you interview, you're going to give it. Every time your neighbor or somebody you just met asks you, hey, what do you do? You're going to give this pitch. And so you've got to have a well-rounded, well-spoken, brief, succinct story about what happened. And I think that's very, very important because, again, you're going to probably present it a lot. The other thing I throw out there, and this is, again, from personal experiences, while you may have that bad taste in your mouth from being let go from an organization you were with, you must always speak of them, at least in public, in a positive light. If you go into an interview and you talk poorly about your former organization, that doesn't reflect positively. I just think that you can keep a positive light about it, talk positively about them, and I think that will help not only your head, but also, reflect positive on those people who you're interviewing with. So that being said, Colleen, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, just to bounce off of what you just said. I mean, you might have that bad taste in your mouth, but it'll leave a bad impression on your interviewer if you do talk badly about your former employer. And I always coach my candidates to, if they're in that situation, to keep their answer brief and positive, share something that they learned throughout the layoff process, update the interviewer as to what they've been doing. So, have they been consistently looking for a new position? Did they take some time off to travel or spend, some more time with their family? I think just kind of being upfront and honest about what you've been doing since the layoff is also good. And again, connecting with your network is also great. And I think relying on what we do best is, as recruiters, connect with a recruiter if you haven't already, because we, at Joulé and all of the other companies within System 1, we're committed to helping you find the right fit. But we could also provide advice to you when it comes to your resume or interview techniques like we just discussed. So, we can also provide invaluable market insight. So, if you haven't connected with a recruiter, I would do so today, just because we could be the person to help you find your next opportunity.
Absolutely. Wendy, anything else?
Yeah, in general, not necessarily. I think you guys covered the pitch pretty well, but I would just say, just like any other job, carve time out of each and every day to do some of these things that we've discussed, whether it's job searching, updating your resume, reaching out to your network, all of those. It's your job now, is job seeking. And, the other thing is set realistic expectations and goals for yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we would never expect anybody we trained or what have you to come on and just learn everything right away. So don't expect yourself, be good to yourself, and set real goals, real expectations that you're going to meet, so you're not down and you're staying positive and upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. I'll throw one last thing out there before we go around the horn one more time. But I was told that, in my experience, again, from being let go, was was that for the majority of people who are let go, the next opportunity that they get ends up being better than the one that they were in. That it doesn't sound or feel like that at the time, but that action that happens drives you to looking for another opportunity, and it ends up being a better move than what you were doing. And that holds true for me, from what I was doing to where I am now. It was a long story, but I'm better off now than I was when I was let go. So awesome. Anything else from our panel? Anything else you'd like to add?
I'll just play off what you said there, Rich. Same thing for me, coming from a retail background for so many years, that's all I've known. And now to be in telecom, it's, a total 180, and it keeps me engaged and I'm learning every day. So try something new. I would encourage everybody to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All righty. Well, that does it for today's broadcast. Again, thank you everybody for visiting or being here with us and attending. I was seeing the chat show up. Thank you all for those who said that they were watching live and where you're from. We appreciate it. And YouTube. Our Sound Off with System 1 videos can be found on our YouTube channel. We have a ton of videos out there that talk about resume, career, and job search tips, hiring manager best practices, leadership insights, and more. Also, search and apply to our jobs. Our career portal is jobs.system1.com. We've got a ton of jobs out there. We're in a very easy apply process that you can do from desktop and your mobile phone very simply. And finally, join us next week, Thursday, 2 p.m. for the next Sound Off with System 1. Karen will be meeting with and interviewing John Hayes, our leader of Alta IT Services. Again, that's 2 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday. Sound Off with System 1. Thank you for being here today.